Hello everyone and welcome to Formula 1 2013. Here we have another race where I am in the R&D screen. As you can see, I've got to do 5 laps in a certain time without using KERS.
Okay, we want to see how the car behaves on low fuel. Beat the target time without deploying KERS.
There we are then. As you can see, it's intermediate qualifying then. It's fairly wet then. Breaking down to the final corner here. I'm running a little bit wider than I'd have liked to, getting a lot of wheel spin on the exit and not using KERS as I come out because I had to fight really hard not to do that. So I skipped to the end of the first lap. This wasn't particularly interesting, I just went around, did a couple of laps and tried to beat the time. So they got a 1:44.7, not too bad. There you are, confirmation of that. As we come around now to the end of the second lap. 1:46.1. There you go then, as I come down to the first corner once again and go very deep there. There we go, come around to the final lap of it now as I do a 1:46.2. There you go then. And then there you go, you can see me backing out of it now. I did just do a couple more laps and then go back into it. So we're in quali, it's dried up. I'm going on the prime tyres for Q1. So coming out the final corner using KERS and DRS then. Trying to get a good run down, going to rich mixture there. Going down, almost hitting the limiter. They go in the limiter there, braking down. Going a bit deeper than I wanted to. Missing my apex by a long way there, which compromises my line heavily for the second one, which I get a lot of wheel spin coming out of. And then coming out of this corner, which I find very easy to cut. If you just turn in a touch early, it's very easy to just cut it. And there we go, I run a little bit deeper because I hit the curb there, which sends me wide. Going past Van der Garde then. There's a back mark here, which I hope doesn't get in my way too much. It's Chilton. Didn't manage to get, he didn't get in my way too much there, just forced me to go a bit tight there. This right, which is easy to get wrong, and I do run a bit wide there. Compromise my line, compromise my lap a bit there, but it shouldn't really matter. It's Q1, I shouldn't find it too difficult there. As I brake and my rears lock up and sends my back end out a bit. There you go, and sector 2 to 59.8 then, not too bad considering all the mistakes I had. This right hand, which is quite tricky, is very easy to run wide. As we come down to the left, and then the right before one, probably one of the hardest corners in the calendar. Very easy to lock your inside there, just like that. There we are now, accelerating. Very nice then. Using DRS then down the final, down the back straight. Break into the final corner, going around, locking my inside slightly there. Going a little bit wide. Using DRS as I come out of here. Managed to do a 1:40.4. Bad, just coming off the line there. There we go then. I did pretty much the same thing in Q2, and I'm now up into Q3 on my out lap then. Going into the last corner and locking my inside there, getting a bit of wheel from the outside. KERS and DRS then coming out. Up to rich mixture then as we go down to the first corner. And just hitting the limiter there, braking down now as Webber looks like he's going to make a move up inside and go very, very deep into there. And going on the inside there. Compromise my line a lot there for the second corner. Use a bit of KERS coming out onto this bit. And braking there at 175 miles an hour. It's the right, there you go, got it a lot nicer this time than in Q1. Now this very nice left-right complex bit. Very nice, if you can catch it just right, you can almost take it flat, I imagine. I think I do take it flat once in the race. I can't quite remember, as I go right. And right again there. Keeping it nice and quick through there. Brake down now into this hairpin. My rears lock again and just send my back end out, which sort of helps me through the corner quite nicely. Yeah, 59.0 there. I can't remember what it was in Q1, so there we are then. Another dash of Kurz then coming out of that corner. Into the left and right and into this very, very tricky penultimate corner. As I lock my inside there, run a bit wide, but it means I can comb across. I get a lot of wheel spin there. And DRS and Kurz coming out of that corner. Really tricky, that final corner. So easy to lock your tyres and go deep. There you go. Braking down hard. Oh, going very deep. Missing my braking point by a long way there. Using DRS for the final run to the line. 1:39.5. As I then back off, go into the pits and try a few more laps, but nothing was faster, so
Excellent driving. That's
there you go. As you can see, it's my first pole position, and I finished in first and Kim Räikkönen in 10th there. There you go, look, celebrating, very happy with my performance there. So I was quite surprised that I managed to do that, because I didn't think I was particularly strong at this track. Here we are then. 3-3 wings then, it gives a nice lot of downforce, but can mean, there you go, 50-50 brakes, because it means if I normally have it 51, it then locks up really heavily into that penultimate corner. 210 then, so give a good turn in then on the rear. 2299, which means you get less understeer. There you go, stepped gear ratios there, so that I hit just in the limiter. And all this stuff the same as normal. As I'm thinking about changing my setup, I just have a look there and think, oh, I'll just go with it and try to run my own. There we go then. As I get given the finger and they lower me off the jacks as I then head out onto track. We are then on the grid, as you can see me there with my new helmet. It's from the HD helmets mod pack thing. I will put it in the description below. There we are then on the grid.
after your point finish last race.
2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights going up to Rich Mitchell there, 5 lights, and away we go! We go for the second race of the season, and I get a very bad start there, bogged down quite a bit, and Hamilton goes past me very quickly. So I move across to try and get in his slipstream, but it doesn't really help. As Vettel goes around outside and Rosberg looks up my inside as well. As Hamilton runs very deep and I go a bit deep as well, but that left-hander there. And then accelerating out of the right-hander there, using Kurz to get more acceleration. Let's see what the gap is then. 1.3 then, so took that corner quite nicely then. So 1.3 just after one sector, so fairly good. And Massa's up into second then, so I don't know where Hamilton dropped to, but he must have dropped quite a long way from going so deep. As I clip that corner quite badly there, it sends me wide, meaning I have to go ease off right through that corner. Breaking down now into the hairpin. As I go very deep, sort of miss my braking point and just run onto the grass a bit there as we come to the end of sector 2. 1.8 then, so it's gained 0.5 I think. Was it 1.3 or 1.2? Can't remember. As we go down now into this left, and then right as Rosberg's overtaken Massa, I've only just realised. I'm going to lock my inside a bit there, accelerating out and using the rest of my Kurz. Oh no, not using the rest of my Kurz. Just leaving a smidgen left for what the acceleration out of the final corner. My tyres are already looking a bit worn there. As I go very deep into that corner, miss my braking point completely, missing my apex a lot, but doesn't seem to go too badly. As we skip ahead now to almost the end of the third lap, as I come in and you can see the rubber line starting to form. Oh, as I brake really badly, get on the brakes and I lock my tyres and go very deep, and at this point it's braking for me, and I come back onto the track and hit Hamilton there. Didn't seem to affect him too much, but Rosberg's gone through as well there, and it was like Webber's going to get through as well. I did use a lot of Kurz to try and soften the blow, but Webber had DRS, so I couldn't really do much. So I go up the inside of Rosberg there and get a lot of whip on the outside, and rest my Kurz for the run to the line.
The guys have run the numbers and we calculate that Rosberg will be pitting.
There you go, Rosberg pitting the next 2 laps as we skip ahead to lap 5, as the gap to the car ahead has slowly grown and the gap car behind has slowly grown as well. So you can see I'm selecting primes here. So I'm going to pit at the end of this lap then. As you can see, I'm suffering with tyres quite heavily here. Sticking nicely to the rubber line and breaking there. Lock on me inside once again, running very wide. Really having to fight with it. Lots of wheel spin there, using the rest of my cars. I won't need it coming out the final corner. You can see Webber closing in there behind. And you can brake later into the final corner when you're going into the pits, so you don't need to turn the whole way. There you can see how worn my fronts are. Extremely worn. I go a bit deep there and onto lean mixture so that I don't waste any fuel. This is a nice camera. I like this one. The head of the drill. What's it called? Not drill. Nut guy. There you go, I can't remember the word for it. As we come to the end of the pit lane now and going back up to standard fuel. Looks like I've come out in 13th then, just ahead of Satil and just behind the rest. So I'm in a forced India sandwich here then. Using a bit of curves coming out the corner so I can get I can pull away from the car. There goes. I skip another couple of laps, and other cars have just pitted ahead of me, and I've just kept going. And so I just hit my mic there. Fourth and then third, and then second. Yeah, just getting past second place there before he comes out of the pits. Just getting that corner completely wrong, losing a lot of time through there. Accelerating, using a bit of curves out of there, then really going to have to push now to try and catch Hamilton. Breaking down now, there we go, right-hander, got that quite badly, got a bit of wheel spin on the out, a bit of oversteer on the exit of that corner. There you go, really trying to stick to that rubber line there, because it really does help grip. Run a little bit wide there, but not too drastic, so I cut that corner a bit there and run a little bit wide with that one. Not too bad, but could be better. Breaking down my rear end, stepping out there. Okay, Buttons apparently running forward as I go purple there. Braking to the right hand, keeping it on track just about. Use a bit more curves. I've used a lot of curves already this lap. Into the right hander as I still lock up around there. I'm really not very good around that corner, using the rest of my curves there to try and get a good round of it. As you can see that Hamilton's pulled away probably by quite some margin. I've got to look what it was at the last sector, but it does look like he's pulled out a bigger gap to me. I clipped my apex quite nicely there, but still run a little bit wide on the exit. There you go. We skip ahead to lap 13 then, as I set the prime tyre, because my tyre's looking really quite worn. Through the first corner, lock up and go quite deep, lose a lot of time there to Hamilton. It's got to 8.7 there, and it's only 3.3 now to the car behind. Get a lot of wheel spin out of there. Fighting now to keep it on the track. I mean, my tyres aren't even that worn, but on a set of primes and you're losing this much time, I thought I'd best pit a lap early and see if I can soften the blow. Oh, a lot of wheel spin there. Look, 9.4 now, he's really extending the gap. I get that corner completely wrong, as I hear that Kimi's in the pit lane. Shouldn't affect me at all, which is a good thing. I'm going the right there, running very wide. Not particularly good at the end of this, the latter part of this stint. Braking now, left-hander. Sector 2 looks 10.95, 10.0 now, so 10.01. No, 10.1. So I run really wide there, get right on the gravel, get all out of shape. That's a lot of time to over behind it. It's only 2.4 to him now. I don't know what it'll be at the end of this sector, but definitely losing time, so definitely time to pit then. And I go, that was probably the best I've taken that corner all race. So, doesn't really say much, does it? As we come down now to the final corner, braking a bit later than I normally would, because you just go straight on. As Webber doesn't pit behind me then, so I'm in the pits then, going down to lean fuel. Cruising down to the pit lane now then. So reselecting prime tyres so that I can go back onto those. I like this camera as well, the front jack man. There we are, good stop, 3.2 second, good stop from the Lotus guys, and there's Rosberg just gone past.
There's some traffic at the pit exit. Watch out as you rejoin the track.
There you go, lock up a bit into turn 1. Hopefully not losing too much time.
You're on the prime
I'm told only one stop to go, so really trying to push now, really trying to close the gap.
We advise mix 2. We're comfortable at the moment.
There he goes, now jump ahead as I go purple in the sector. It's 8.9 to Hamilton ahead. He has pitted and so have I. So we're really starting to close the gap down now, really trying to ramp up the pace a bit. Right, cut it a bit there and get quite nicely in there. 5.3 then as we go skip to lap 20 when I'm due to pit, so I will be pitting at the end of this lap. It's only 5.3 then to Hamilton ahead, so I've closed the gap down. Slowly been wearing away at it. Breaking down to that corner. Using the rest of my curves coming out of that corner then. Really trying to just maximise the opportunity to close the gap. So you can see I think that's Hamilton in the pits then at the moment. So we pitted on the same lap then, I think. See if I can make anything of this. So reselecting prime tyres, I reckon I'll probably set options might have lasted me to the end, but just to be safe I've gone for the primes. Yeah, look, you can see that is Hamilton ahead of me there. There we go. 3.2 once again there, really good stop. Really closing the gap down, so it's 5.9 then to the car ahead. And really waiting so I can get up to standard fuel. There I am, up to standard fuel. As I lock up again into turn 1. Yeah, this is the final stint then. Let's see what the gap is in at the end of this sector. As I've lost the position to someone, and so has Hamilton, so I think that's probably Webber or Rosberg or someone. I get that corner wrong and not used to this levels of grip. Skip to the end of lap 21 and the gap's 4.4. There, that's me just going past Webber there then, but 4.4 then to the car ahead. Skip ahead another lap. 3.7, really starting to close the gap down now. Really starting to get close to him, and I just went a lot faster as well. There you go, 2.4, really starting to close the gap down now, really getting close to him. You can see that is Hamilton ahead there, you can just see him on the edge of your screen there. Look, zoom! That was Hamilton there, just to prove it was him. That's Hamilton there, so really starting to close the gap to him now, really hoping that he gets slowed down by this car, which I don't think he has done. I think the car got nicely out of the way for him, which is a shame, as I have to go around Maldonado then through there. Lap time now is 2.1 then, really starting to close the gap down now. Really hoping that I can close him down enough so that I can pass him before the end of the race. There's a load right up behind him now. Probably under a second now, yeah, look, 0.5. I'm on -1 laps of fuel though, so I'm purple once again, so I've run a little bit wide through there. Use a bit of curves just to make sure that I'm inside the DRS zone. Ready for the straight. This is the first time I've got DRS. Yeah, I'm inside a bit there, hoping I can get a good exit. As I get a bit of whip in there, so not a very good exit. But DRS then, maximising slipstream and everything there. My tyres are quite worn there. As he goes defensive, as I look around his outside. As that I do temporarily switch into first there as I go past the line, which means I don't get DRS and he does. But good news for me there, I hear that Hamilton's running on lean as well, so some encouraging words there. 0.7 to go ahead. You can really see how wrecked my tyres are. As I look, have a look down his inside, lock up there, managed not to hit him. As I just sort of crazy crossing there as I go around this outside into turn 2. As I make it, can I make it stick? Yes, I can. Into first place then, lap 27 of 28, but my tyres are absolutely ruined. I've really got to try and hold off now, just defend and drive as well as I can. As I didn't get a gap there at the end of that sector, which is a bit of a shame, but you can see how warm my tyres are there as I run wide through there, which really allows Hamilton to close in. I'm praying now that his tyres are as worn as mine and that he's as slow as I am. I'm down to optimal fuel, back up to optimal fuel, then running lean, braking there, trying to take it as slow as possible so that I don't spin out or anything. So you get wheel spin there in 3rd gear. There you go, really taking this slowly. Try my up by best 0.3 then to the car, I have to use some curves, try and get him out of my DRS zone. I don't know if it's worked or not. Missed my apex by a long way there as Hamilton's closed right up behind me now then. Saving my curves then for the next straight. Actually no, I use it now. So I see he's got past me. As I break down now into the final corner, lock my inside a bit there. He does go around my outside and has got DRS ready for this next straight. As I move across there to defend from the inside, as you can see there he has got DRS. As he looks for me making a move around on my outside, I break here and we're on the final lap now. I lock my outside tyre there, run a little bit wide, which means that he's forced to go back behind, so I wheel spin a bit there. Wheel spin a lot there, really just trying to eat the last few grains of rubber off these tyres now then. As the gap's now 0.6 to Hamilton behind, then cut that corner massively. As you look, you can see how warm my tyres are there. They're as red as my curves bar. Really trying to keep it tight there. To that corner quite nicely. This difficult right section here, run a little bit wide through there, which does allow me to get a nice line across there. You can see he's getting very close to me now. As I haven't used any curves this lap to defend on the last 2 straights. I get a lot of wheel spin out there. A lot of wheel spin in 4th gear there even, so I run wide through there. Allows him to close right up behind me. But I still keep on my curves because I know no matter what I do, he will have to go defensive to the inside there, but run very wide. Allow him through on the inside there. Which is pretty much just gifted in first place. I get a lot of wheel spin using a lot of my curves. Trying to get him, sorry about that, I had to pause there for some reason. The phone rang, so there we are, my tyres are wrecked and lots of wheel spin. As I come through 2nd place, and that's how wrecked my tyres were, the fact that when doing my victory swerves, I spin and get a puncture. But there we are then, 2nd place once again, Kimi Räikkönen in 9th. There we are then.
Second place, brilliant
Confirmation
driving,
there then,
driving.
only 1.9.
You're still second in
As
the
I'm 14
drivers'
points off
championship.
Hamilton there then. There we are then. Celebrating on the grid. Only 14 points off him there, very close at the end. Probably could have had it if I'd pitted a lap later, but you never know. There you go then. Very happy there with my new helmet. Congratulating. Thank you ever so much for watching, and goodbye.